Ilang sandali lamang, biglang bumulaga sa dalawang rider ang isa lakas ng impact, nawalan ng malay kahit pa nakasuot.
Laraw siyang hintuan ng isang van.
Usap namin sa telepono ang truck driver para ito wala mga traffic.
Nakilalang isa sa mga suspect sa CCTV footage na ito at namatay.
Lopez Boulevard sa Tondo, Maynila. Nang makahanap ng tiyempo, binuksan ng mga lalaki ang kotse at hinablot ang bag ng pasahero sabay karipas ng takbo.
Nang pasukin ang 5 hold-upper na ito, namatay ang leader ng grupo habang mabilis namang tumakas ang 4 na
17 years old na babae na yung na nawawala sa laban ng January 13, 20.
Tinutukan ng baril at hinablot pa ng lalaki niya. Dapat na isang babae na
I am on break at work, so I'm gonna do this now. Crimes in the Philippines is reaching alarming levels, and it's not just an isolated issue. Crime rates are spiking, kidnappings are making a comeback, and videos of brazen robberies in broad daylight are flooding the internet. The question is the Philippines still a safe country? Or is this just the beginning of much bigger problem again? The truth is the situation is getting worse, I think, and no amount of sugarcoating can change that. Crime isn't just something that happens in poor neighborhoods. It's spreading. It's like a virus, and it's getting bolder. Why? Because criminals know they can get away with it. Because the system is broken at the very core. Until the corruption is dealt with, this is only going to spiral further out of control. Let's talk about it. So over the past few months, crime has been on the rise, like robberies, kidnappings, and even violent murders. And the thing is, these crimes aren't happening in the shadows. What do I mean by that? They're happening in the middle of the traffic, in broad daylight, on highways, in the malls, and outside our homes. Like for example, the Road 10 in Tondo. So group of young robbers wait for red lights, then swarm vehicles checking for unlocked doors, grabbing bags, phones, anything they can snatch before the light turns green. They don't wear masks. And why is that? Because they know no one will stop them. So similar crimes are happening in C5 road. Criminals operate openly in congested traffic. They're doing the same thing, targeting drivers stuck in the traffic. They don't care about CCTV cameras. And why should they? Even if they get caught on camera, nothing happens. No arrests, no consequences, just another viral video. And it's not just street crime. It's kidnappings, violent robberies, and even assassinations. They're all caught on cameras. The worst part, it's been happening for years. Well, it dies down a little bit, it dies down for a while, and then it comes back. Stronger, more organized, and more ruthless. I'm a local and I've never felt scared this much, but I'm actually realizing that it could happen to me anytime. And let's be real, this isn't just about desperate criminals, because this runs deeper. Locals in crime-ridden areas talk about how these gangs are protected by corrupt officials, how some police officers benefit from stolen goods. That is not very surprising. How reports are dismissed before they even reach an investigator. And let's be honest, why would criminals be so bold if they didn't have someone covering for them? This isn't conspiracy, okay? This is Philippines. It's common knowledge. Corrupt police officers don't just look the other way. They profit from it. Some take bribes to release criminals. Others make money by selling stolen goods or tipping off criminals before a raid. If law enforcement is complicit in crime, how can crime ever be controlled? And in the reality, this isn't getting better anytime soon because, corruption is very deeply embedded in the system. And every attempt to fix it ends up being nothing more than just a show. Every now and then, we see high profile arrests of corrupt officials. But what happens after? Either they walk free or they're simply, replaced by another set of corrupt officials. It's like a cycle. And as long as the cycle continues, crime will thrive. It's also interesting that if you try to ask Google if crime rates in the Philippines are increasing, you will mostly find articles claiming that crime has dropped by 60% according to Philippine National Police reports, PNP reports. But the reality on the ground tells a different story. The media is flooded with crime reports and CCTV footages of robberies and kidnappings, and it's everywhere all over the internet. And since corruption is deeply rooted in law enforcement, it's very possible that many crimes are not even being officially recorded. Some reports never make it to official statistics because criminals have protection from officials, from high ranking officials, even. So, if crimes aren't even being documented properly, how can we trust that the situation is under control? Of course, it's not under control. I mean, this is Philippines. To be honest, guys, maybe I sound so negative about it, but to be honest, I don't have much hope for the Philippines in terms of when we talk about corruption and crime rates that are related to corruption and corruption that are related to crimes. If robbery isn't bad enough, kidnappings is back. Like I said earlier, women and children are being taken, trafficked, used, and in some horrifying cases, this is true story, guys. Their bodies are found. Some of the kids or children's bodies are found thrown out in bushy areas, and they are found without internal organs because their internal organs are being harvested by these syndicates. So yeah, I mean, we have all the reasons to be paranoid about it. This is happening. These are not random criminals working alone. These are organized groups, syndicates operating with such precision. They know what they're doing. And let's not forget the foreigners, guys, because we already heard about the news of the kidnappings in Mindanao. And recently, just February 3, I think 3 or 4, a 54-year-old American expat was recently robbed and murdered in Mindanao. Okay, speaking of foreigners, by the way, let's talk about you guys, foreigners. If you're thinking about moving to the Philippines, you need to ask yourself if you can handle the level of risk. I mean, I know that it's not very different from, some of the places in your country, in America, in Canada, in Europe, in Australia. But if you are a stranger, a foreigner in a country, then that puts you more at risk. So you need to ask yourself if you can handle this level of risk. Because the truth is, foreigners are also prime targets here. Criminals assume you have money. You're automatically rich here. Automatically you have money. And guess what? In a country where money is equals power, that makes you a walking target. And before you say, oh, I live in a nice area, in a nice place, it's safe here. Let me remind you, crime doesn't care about zip codes. So these snatchings are really, really random. Like you think you're in a very safe and very secured place, exclusive place, but don't be so sure. They can happen even in the safest place. And if you're considering living in the Philippines, understand this. You can live here safely, but you have to be extremely cautious. Avoid sketchy areas. I know you already know that. Be wary of scams and don't assume that the law enforcement will always have your back, because in many cases, they won't. And another thing is avoid competing with politicians' businesses. If ever you want to make a business like in the province, like a bar or a club or a restaurant, and you're competing with a politician's business there, that is actually very dangerous for you. So, the Philippines is an incredible country, no doubt, There's no denying that. The people, you know, most of the people, I don't know what it sounds like, but yeah, the people are nice. The people are nice, even if the politicians and the corrupt officials are actually Filipinos and the people here in the Philippines, you know, a lot of Filipinos are still very nice people. They are very friendly, they're very hospitable. They smile a lot, they laugh a lot, they're simple. Not just the people, but also the culture, the beauty of, you know, the places, the islands. It's all unmatched. Yeah. But pretending it's all sunshine and paradise. And oh yeah, don't forget about the prices. Even though the Philippines is not certainly the cheapest country to, you know, to retire in or to live in, I mean, Philippines is still pretty much cheaper than most of Western countries. But yeah, my point is, it's not all sunshine and paradise. So if you're here, be smart, be cautious, and never let your guard down. Now, the question of, is the Philippines still a safe country or a safe place to live in? Well, I think that depends on how prepared you are to face reality. If you think you can handle the risk, be vigilant, and accept that the system is flawed, you can live here just fine. But if you're looking for a country where crime is truly under control, you might want to reconsider because Philippines is not it. Stay safe, stay aware, and I'll see you guys in the next video.